Most battles are short, a few days, maybe a few months. But one siege dragged on for over 21 years. Today, we're diving into the longest siege in human history, a brutal, pointless standoff that exhausted two empires and ended with barely a whimper. This is the story of the Siege of Candia. It all started in 1648. The Ottoman Empire was expanding across Europe and the Mediterranean. Their next target? The island of Crete, controlled by the Republic of Venice. The jewel of Crete was Candia, what we now call Heraklion, a fortified city, thick stone walls, coastal defenses. Venice wasn't about to give it up without a fight, and so the Ottomans laid siege. At first, everyone thought it would be quick, a few months, maybe a year. They were wrong. The first assaults were brutal. Cannons blasted the walls, ships blockaded the port, Ottoman armies surrounded the city, cutting off supplies. But Candia held year after year after year. Soldiers on both sides grew old, waiting for an attack that never came. Commanders rotated in and out. Generations of Venetian and Ottoman troops lived and died without seeing victory. The citizens suffered horribly: starvation, disease, despair, and still, Candia refused to fall. The longer the siege dragged on, the less either side cared about victory. The Ottomans spent a fortune maintaining their army in Crete. Venice poured massive amounts of gold in defending a city half the world had forgotten. By year 15, morale was shattered. Troops deserted. Supplies ran dry. Even officers stopped believing in the cause. Both sides kept fighting, simply because giving up felt worse than losing. They were trapped by their own pride. In 1669, after 21 brutal years, it finally ended. Not with a glorious final battle, not with a heroic last stand. The Venetian commanders simply surrendered. Negotiations were quick. Candia was handed over. Most of the remaining defenders were allowed to leave peacefully. An empire had wasted 2 decades. Tens of thousands had died for a city that fell almost without a fight. The Siege of Candia is a brutal reminder. Sometimes the longer you fight for something, the harder it becomes to see when it's time to let go. History isn't always decided by strength or strategy. Sometimes it's decided by who gets tired first. This was the brief empire. Subscribe for more forgotten wars, broken dreams, and the battles that time tried to erase.